Actually, I should move this, copy this up here. Actually, let's put it right here. Alright. Color red. These are the guys occupying the building, as I said. And there's objects. Here's the objective. Places the objective in the building. It's supposed to put a yellow dot on the marker. Well, not on the marker per se, but it will in this time. Well, for now, we'll make a yellow dot for the objective. You can't see it because of the marker, but that's what this code does here. And get to this part. Buildings are greater than 0. Okay, here down here, I believe, is if we spawn a marker lick, or whatever it might be called. Up here, there's a list. Here, Zeus, Chimera, Hera, Wyvern, Kraken, Dragon, Dionysus, Hydra, Lick, Gorgon, and Thor. Those are the markers, which you will see when I exit the editor. Anyway, if there's not a building within 100 meters, then it's going to do the else part of the code down here. It'll set enemies, it'll place the objective, but there won't be any buildings nearby for it to place them in. Alright, let's go back to this. Oh, also I have a special code to teleport to anywhere in the map that I want. So we're up here at the base. Bunch of airplanes, bunch of helicopters actually, laid out. Some characters or units. There's some units here, some units here, and these units. I think we're all in a group with these guys here. Anyway, I can teleport to anywhere in the map that I want to, which is also for testing, because it's a pain to fly the helicopter to the objective, and you can just teleport to test it. Excuse me. Alright, let me show you the teleport code. There you go. Okay. Here's a teleport code. It's triggered by a radio trigger, which you can see in the editor, in the editor when I'm not actually in the game, playing the game. Alright, just sets the position, the X position for every player in the group that the player is grouped with, and that's it. Alright, so where's my cursor? Here it is. Let's get it up. Task auto-generated. It always says this to destroy the objective. It's like a box of grenades and a supply cache. Not a supply cache, a supply box also. Just for testing mostly. Alright, so we're gonna teleport. There's an enemy here, enemy there. Let's teleport into this grass here. And approach the objective. There's a yellow marker to show the objective. And radio 0. Radio trigger alpha. And we click. And then we all appear here. Take everybody spawned. Go back into the game. Let's race into staggered column, I guess.
Form staggered column.
Yeah, this guy's going to set up. I'll turn his voice off now. Ah, that's not it. music. We don't want this. Alright, that'll do. That's the settings used. We use TeamSpeak also. Kill VON and kill, what is it? Yeah, VON. Make it 0. And then you can use TeamSpeak. You can still hear everybody in the voice chat. Well, the voice chat and the radio chat, and the long range radio, and direct chat. So it's just talking, you can hear them. And fucking done. I'm doing my night vision. Always on my light.
Contact! Sniper! Contact! Soldier!
Okay, we can see through buildings.
Sniper! 100 meters! Left! Contact! AT soldier! Man down! Target down! Target down! We lost one.
Map. Go there. I'm gonna kill these guys too. Personal marker. Personal waypoint.
Soldier! 75 meters right! Soldier! 75 meters right!
That guy didn't shut up from adjustments. So I'm gonna figure that out later. See if I can, because it's a single player. Whatever. Not important right now. There's the marker for the objective 71 meters right. The east northeast.
Contact! Soldier! He's down!
Nothing I can do about that.
Contact! AT soldier! Contact! Man! Soldier! 75 meters front! Contact! Soldier! Sniper! 100 meters front! I got it! He's down! Contact! Sniper! Target's down! Hostile down!
Oh, you can see me leaning out. Like that? See that? Very useful. Back in. I never play in third person though. If I'm driving, and flying. I put it in third person. So it's easier.
Contact! Sniper! Fall back! Understood!
This character can't get hurt because I have a lot of damage. Equals false. For testing, of course. But I still like to play, kind of like to play for real. Which wastes a lot of time if you're developing a mission. You test it out and end up playing it too long. A lot more than you should. You just need to see that it's working as intended. Oh, fucking asshole. I think the stream is lagging the game, or the game is lagging the stream. There's nothing I can do about it until I
Soldier, 100 meters.
upgrade this video. Actually, shot a garbage can. Alright, let's go to the objective.
Got a man down. Rifleman, 100 meters, right.
There's my personal waypoint and the marker for the objective. Map. The marker the further one. Show this one. Back here. You see there's nothing here. Now, sometimes
Contact, man.
The box of grenades as well. So we'll restart the mission. First, we'll look at the map. When we start, we can restart the mission from scratch. I think respawns are on, but we'll see. Close this. All right, here are my markers, as I mentioned. Lake, Dionysus, Hydra. There's nothing. Dragon, and so forth. Just a few markers. This here, the op force site. I put a one of the modules for op force site, just to have some enemies. I was well, I am spawning some of them in, but the op force site makes it populated, and it's a little bit easier. It does some things that I wanted to do, but it doesn't do everything. So I'm gonna have to spawn the enemies that I want. So I have to pick a direction for where this mission is going. At first, it was going to be a single player mission or a multiplayer mission. You start the game. You start the you start the game. Starts the mission. You get an objective to destroy. Whatever it said. Destroy objective. Excuse me. Destroy the objective, which is fine. It'll create other tasks like recon of some area, so you go over there and you recce it, or maybe it'll be capture somebody or rescue somebody, like hostage rescue. And it'll be various parts of the map in the populated areas like Cobra, the city, the largest city, which is really the size of a fucking town, but whatever. This town here. We have some people here, or some objectives there, out in the mountains here, for example. There could be something there. Not now, because there's no marker. Anyway, I have to place them in a certain area in case I spawn vehicles. If I don't want the vehicles to blow up when they spawn, or they land on top of each other, they try to take the same space. Will blow up, and it's kind of exciting. It might be interesting, but it will defeat the purpose unless I spawn more and give them some variation. But if I spawn too many, it's gonna lag my game even more. Anyway, so those are the markers in various places. I was gonna create a mission so that you go in, gives you a task, you complete that task, and then you go on to the next task. But I don't want it to be so generic that it's kind of dull after a while. What I want is a cohesive task or task package, and each task, wherever you happen to go, will lead to the next task or one of the other tasks or give you hints or something. It has to be some kind of continuity. No, not just continuity. They all tie together somehow. And it should be like a story, maybe not a real story, but there's like a story there. You find this ammo cache, you destroy the ammo cache, you find some documents that points to, I don't know, some rebel group that's going to build up. So you go up there to recce them, and then you go in and attack, and you destroy them. You capture some more documents, and maybe some people get killed by IEDs or booby traps. And then you find, oh, there's a booby trap maker, so you want to get the bomb making materials destroyed. You want to find the bomb maker, and so forth. And it'll all lead to something that makes sense. Just so that it's a bit more. That's one thing. The other thing is to create a more cohesive story, a more tight story, a very specific story, and then use the markers, the randomness to develop that. But I don't know about that yet. But I would like to create some kind of Green Beret mission, like Vietnam era Green Beret. You know, some of the missions they did at that time, and set them up like that somehow. You know, the A team, B team, the C team, maybe 3 A teams to 1 B team, 3 B teams to 1 C team. So we'll have 1 C team, 1 B team, and 3 A teams out of the B team, all running ops in certain sectors. Anyway, they could have missions specific to the Green Berets, which would be pretty excellent, I think. Um, anyway, this is that I just told you. And all of these markers are just here. There's nothing to do anything except for the modules where I put in the op4 sites. They just spawn op4 in the area, like maybe a patrol, some static people. They can be in buildings. The patrol can be a foot patrol, maybe a foot patrol, and a vehicular patrol. And the vehicular patrol is, of course, outside patrolling the area. Here are the characters you can become, as it were, in the role selection screen. I have my Zeus tied to, should be this guy. Make sure. Support. Doesn't look like he is tied in there. Let's see. Alright, this guy tied to Zeus, so I'm gonna select him. And there can be only one Zeus, as far as I know. Alright. Tied into Zeus. And the support. Virtual attack helicopter. All these are virtual. Yep. Alright, better save it. And better export it to multiplayer missions. Alright. We saw in the last thing the friendlies spawn friendlies, would spawn enemies, and the enemies had several spawn points they could appear at, and so did the friendlies. These are just going to appear here at the base. There won't be several spawn points. And for the objective, the multiple spawn points essentially is the objectives. The objectives can be spawned here, or down there, or here. Anyway, and last time they spawned units, and the units were made to attack a marker position, which was like basically between the friendlies and the enemies. And this doesn't have that. I can add it, of course. But it's going to change the structure of the what I'm doing somewhat. Anyway, this is Cobra version 1 because I haven't really changed anything yet. Let's go here. Okay, here's the Cobra, the main file. Makes these objectives, da da da. And I was thinking of adapting this somehow. Maybe changing the character of it entirely. So, this objective, the markers, you create the units at the markers and the objective. I need to think about this a bit more, and as far as how I'm going to change it. I might just go for that green beret thing I was talking about, but I play with a 3-para group, and it really should be a 3-para mission. But the inspiration for doing this partly was for the 3-paras, and they're a special forces support group. They're infantry group. They're a paratrooper group, obviously. They have the 1-para, 2-para, 3-para, 4-para, and 5-para. They all have slightly differing missions, not necessarily different capabilities, but they also have a recce unit. So 3-para, they're like the fist that comes in and punches the enemy. You might have the SAS or the SBS. They may be working together, or 3-paras may have to come in and rescue, quote unquote, rescue the SAS. They're pinned down into place, taking heavy fire, maybe getting casualties by the enemy, and they can't extract themselves directly by helo, by water, whatever, or by on foot. They're like basically stuck there, pinned down. Then you might call in the 3-paras, short notice, fly them to the place, drop them, either airdrop them or drop the helicopter on the ground and let them start running, and they just go and fuck up the enemy. They just kill them all really fast and really hard. That's what the 3-paras do. And they can secure an area on their own. Like, we're going to take this sector, so your sector, secure this sector. And they extinguish all the enemies within that sector. And they set up the perimeter to be secure, checkpoints, whatever. I don't know if they build bases, but they'll have a base for sure. And they'll set up patrols, several patrols in several different directions. And we'll just keep the enemy at bay. That's basically it. It's the fist that you call in when you need help, or it's the fist that you call in if you need to extricate the enemy from an entrenched position, for example, an entrenched town, a entrenched city, whatever, and you get them there, and they do it. Maybe they go into enemy territory behind enemy lines, take over a place, keep that secure, and keep the enemy out while they drop more troops in, and the friendlies start to push out. Like, they drop in here, enemy here, enemy here, enemy here, enemy all around. They drop here, they want to take this port town for some reason. Maybe because it's got a port, I don't know. Anyways, they'll drop in here, hard and fast. Maybe airdrop. However they get inserted, they could go by boat. It doesn't matter. They'll take it over. They'll stand fast. Enemy will come and attack them, hit them hard, but they won't be broken. They'll stay, and they'll start sending out patrols and recce, and they're gonna take over this town next, take over this town, and basically wipe the enemy out, or push them back. and they'll secure the area, and then the regular military, for example, will come in. They'll send in the regular forces in, military forces, also infantry and maybe naval forces and whatever, and they'll come in and they'll eventually take over the mission once they have the base established, and they might send a 3-pair somewhere else out of the country, or they might go into their next mission and I don't know, hit this or wherever they go. But it's like they hit hard and fast. That's a 3-pair way. So anyway, that's kind of the idea. It's like, oh, you come here, you have to destroy your objectives, depending upon the enemy, you smash them, and you destroy it. But you can assume that there are civilians in the area, which is why you're sending people in. You're not just carpet bombing the area, for example. And I don't know if the British will do that. Americans will. If like you send people in, you're not getting the objective, and you say, fuck it, we're just going to carpet bomb the whole area. And either you tell them in advance, get out, civilians leave, we're going to bomb the area, or you don't. And you just, because your objective is to kill the enemy, you just go ahead and drop the bombs and make sure the objective is destroyed. Anyway, so every time this runs, it'll pick a new place, and it'll test that. It should pick a marker, spawn the enemies, spawn the enemies and the objectives, and show the marker in that new place. There's the ammo box this time. Alright.
Be advised, support units are now on standby. Out.
Last smoke was over here somewhere, I think. And that was Rick. I don't know what this mark is called, I don't remember. There's only 2 enemies here. Pretty good at base. And destroy what's there. So we can do that. Let's just spawn over here.
Form 5. Contact 18 soldier. Contact rifleman. Soldier, 75 meters, front. Contact man. Machine gunner, 100 meters, right up ahead. Contact machine gunner. Machine gunner, 75 meters, left flank. Machine gunner, 100 meters, front. Rifleman, 75 meters, behind us.
Medic, 75 meters, back. Rifleman, 100 meters, front.
This is still single player. Yeah, if you're too close to an object, and you lean out, you can't really shoot. It's like you're hitting this. So I have to move out more.
Contact machine gunner.
Contact! Machine gunner!
He's hit. Man down.
Contact! Soldier!
Soldier, 75 meters, left. Machine gunner, 100 meters, just up ahead. Hostile down. Machine gunner, rifleman, 100 meters, back. Rifleman, 75 meters, back. Soldier, 75 meters, back. Throwing smoke! Machine gunner, 75 meters, left.
Restart again. Make sure it's still changing appropriately.
Be advised, support units are now on standby. Out.
That's where we were before. Yeah, the hospital. Alright. Start again.
Be advised, support units are now on standby. Out.
Try it one more time. Start. Supposed to load up the mission files, but it might not be doing it.
Be advised, support units are now on standby. Out.
4. Let's start again. Alright, I'm going to have to take off the window capture because it seems to be sticking for some reason. Alright. See it in a few seconds.
Be advised, support units are now on standby. Out.
Same place again. Same ones, but a couple of them are the same. Restart. Camo today. See the camo, but whatever.
Be advised, support units are now on standby. Out.
Alright, so that's working. We're going to abort. And we're going to think about how we're going to change the mission. Put the capture back on. All right. Hit the top. Bottom. All right. Looks like you can see it. All right. So if you think 3-para, it should be, they should hit hard and fast. So like the other mission, the Trinque Paratus, it just spawns enemies from a random group of enemies, and it makes them move through a certain location. And they could be armor, they could be mechanized, they could be divers, doesn't matter. You'll just pick one at random, pick a type at random. So if we do the same thing here, or combine it with this, then we'll have, well, let me start again. What I want to do, we want to create objectives for 3-para to take. So we want enemies, tough enemies, maybe several units combined. We want maybe a hard objective, like a laptop or a supply cache, whatever, to destroy. But we want to hit it hard, and that's what we want to do. This is kind of like that. But let's look at what is spawning here. We have soldiers. Recon patrol, recon team, blah 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 blah. We don't have the other list of like the armor, for example, because we're in a city. We don't really want armor in the city. We don't want to spawn armor in the city. They can move to it. So we can have spawn points, and then we can have a destination point for the enemy to move to, or I don't know, maybe start a patrol from that point. And I should write this down. So all right, Cobra version 2. Change mission parameters. As below. Excuse me. Typing kind of twisted. Anyway. Let's just use an asterisk. Alright. Spawn. Several enemy types. Actually, we spawned several enemy types. We should, the mission should depend on the unit we're going up against. Mission depends upon type of enemy. Okay, spawn from several enemy types. Urban and rural locations. Okay, so we can have armor, we can have mechanized units, we can have just infantry units. They can be, the mission will depend on the type of the enemy. So armor thing. Mechanized can be several things, I think. Infantry can be also several things. Urban and rural areas, so we're going to have to determine the area, determine the runtime. Mission and enemy. The mission depends on the enemy type, but enemies, several types of enemies can have the same mission, or several mission types can apply to a certain enemy. We should make sure we use that. Oops, shit. Okay. Select several missions for enemy type. God damn it. Enemy type. Select from several. Oops. Mission. For an enemy type. I'm going to say the same thing twice. Alright. Okay, so look for several missions for enemy type for friendlies. Several missions for an enemy type for enemies. So the enemies will have missions of their own. It will just probably be move waypoint, search and destroy, or a destroy waypoint. Okay. Fucking hell. Okay. Shit. You too. There you go. Alright. Times, the mission depends on type of enemy. Locations. Okay, I need to take a leak, so I'm going to take a break, and then we'll come back to this in, I don't know, 5 minutes or so.